All right, guys, great evening to all of you. This is Tracey Walker, and we're doing this impromptu recruiting training session in an effort to help more of the people in our overall organization be able to sponsor the people that they need to either primarily get to and free, that's the most important, and then have their initial 3 such that they can start to participate in the compensation plan. And so I know that a lot of people are not looking to build iML, and that's perfectly fine. But for those of you that are watching this live or you're watching this as a recording, I'm assuming that your goal is to actually build an organization. Whether it's a huge one or a small one, it doesn't really matter. The skill set remains the same. We also have a few guests on this evening's call. We've got Mark Sterling on. Excuse me, and we've got Jonathan Green on. These guys are leaders inside of our company as well, in terms of David's organization. And, collectively, this group has done amazingly well in terms of building teams and groups and, 6 and 7 figure incomes and things like that. And so the goal here tonight is to help you clear up whatever is blocking you from actually getting the positive results that you want when it comes down to recruiting. So let me just go ahead and say this. I said this kind of before we started recording, so let me say it again now. We are going to make this very interactive, okay? The reason why it's interactive versus me preach is because me preaching doesn't help you get out there and say the right things and start to hear what you're saying and start to listen the way that you need to listen in order to be effective and in order to provide solutions to people. The very first thing that I want to say is that what we do is we solve problems, okay? As marketers, I don't care if it's network marketing, I don't care if it's internet marketing, I don't care what kind of marketing it is. What we do as marketers is we bridge a gap. We bridge a gap between what it is that people want and what it is that we have. And our goal overall is to find out what people want and then share with them the information on how what we have can actually provide the solution to that problem. That is all we're doing. So the key component is this. If you are not finding out what someone is looking for, you are starting wrong out of the gate. If you are trying to throw a blanket message out there and think that people are going to come to you in droves because they're just so ready to sign up, that is one of the most unrealistic things. I don't know who teaches that. I've never taught that. And we're going to make sure that we double down on that tonight. All right. So really quickly, if everybody could I'm going to kind of go through because I know that the order of the Hollywood squares looks different on everybody's screen. And so what I'm going to ask everyone to do, and I'll kind of call your name out, is to just state your name, and then tell me what it is that you feel you need the assistance with when it comes down to recruiting. And there are 3 phases to recruiting. And this is what I want you to understand. Okay. There is the inviting part, right? Well, actually that's not, it's the solution. You got to find the problem first, right? It's the problem. It's the investigative work, right? So that's really first. Okay. That's like a prerequisite. Okay. Let's just put that as a pre. Without that, these other 3 things don't even matter, but you've got to find out the problem. You got to troubleshoot. You got to find out the area of pain. Okay. The trigger point. Once you've done that, now we've got our 3 steps. We've got the inviting phase. Okay. Many times we call that zone 1. Okay. Where you are prospecting, showing people what's going on. The second thing is we are showing the plan. Okay. We're showing the plan. And how do we show the plan? We show the plan primarily by giving people imlpresentation.com. That is all I do. That is all I do. I do not present this. I do not have long conversations with people about it. I send people to imlpresentation.com. And many of you guys have seen some of my Facebook conversations. That's what I do. Okay. The first thing you got to do is you've got to prospect. You got to invite. Okay. Then you got to show the plan. All right. And the third thing that you got to do is essentially, it's the close. Okay. You got to close them, just to be honest with you. And there's different ways that you can do that. You can close using your upline on a 3-way phone call. You can close via doing the questions yourself. I have some members in on the team that actually are very good with putting prospects who have seen the plan in a three-way chat message on Facebook or Messenger, right? A three-way. They've added me and their prospect along with them into a Messenger message, and then I do what I would do on a phone call, but I do it in the Facebook Messenger, primarily because I'm able to close multiple people at the same time in that manner, right? Versus on the phone individually with every single person of the team. That drives me crazy. I haven't done that in years. Okay. So I've kind of just made it a little bit more automated where it's still that personal touch, but if we need to get on the phone, we will get on the phone. Let me just say that. However, most times I'm able to just do this through a three-way message and the chat, and then we get on the phone with them later, okay? And we get them closed out. And if we don't close them right at that moment, we find out when they're ready to get started, and then that's it, right? And then we put them in our prospect chat, essentially. So the three phases are really you're inviting, you're showing the plan, and then you're closing. Okay, so when you introduce yourself, what I want to know is what part of those three steps, okay, what part of those three steps actually is required or is the part that you need to work on, okay? And remember, before you invite, you've got to find the problem. So if if the prerequisite part is the issue, then tell me that too, okay? I need to know where you're having the issue, and then I can work with you and kind of massage that muscle. And when you leave here tonight, you're going to be squared away, right? So, Derek, let's start with you, bro. What's going on, D? How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Derek, you there?
Can you hear me? Hold on. Can you hear me?
I really can't see you. You look like you're at an angle, like the camera is pointing up at your ceiling. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now I can't hear you, though.
I'm trying to talk.
Do you have your earpiece plugged in?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I see it on your ears, but I don't. Maybe you can unplug it and plug it back into your computer or your phone or something like that, because I don't hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, it's not working.
I still don't hear anything.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we'll come back. We'll work on you with that, Derek. Hey, Gamma, how are you, bro? Uh-oh, sorry, I caught you while you was in the middle of a chew.
Doing good.
I don't hear you either. What's going on?
I am muting myself already.
Why is everybody so silent today? What's going on here? Can you guys, obviously you guys can hear me.
Yeah, I can
hear you.
Okay.
Actually, I hear everybody.
I don't hear you. Maybe mute and unmute again.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
What about now?
Okay, let's try you, Bianca. Okay, something is obviously wrong here. Something is obviously wrong.
Hello, you too.
I have no idea what's going on. Hold on. Let me see something. Let me mute all. And then let me unmute all. Okay, Bianca or Gamma, try it again. But everybody's unmuted. Joyce, I don't hear you. Lavelia, I don't hear. Teresa, like I hear nothing.
I can hear you, Tracey.
Nobody? Oh, there we go. I hear Joyce. Okay.
Tracey, can you hear me?
I hear you. Was it just me, or did nobody hear anybody?
I heard everybody else.
Everybody can hear everyone except
I heard
everyone. Can't hear us.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's,
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Where's the stomach so big? Yeah.
Okay, Mark says he can hear everybody. Okay, great. So fabulous. We're here. So let's start this over. Derek.
Hello.
I hear you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
How's everybody?
Amazing. Thank you.
Good.
What part is he from? Seapoke.
Hold on, Joyce.
Give me 2 seconds. I want to go into the spot.
Okay.
Noise.
Go ahead, Derek.
Okay. All right. Yeah. First and foremost, I just want to say, hey, I know you guys think I'm not present, but I'm present. Juggling a whole bunch of stuff, but I'm excited. Tracey, you dead on with just laying out the process. I just need to take ownership of knowing the fundamentals, so that when the opportunities present themselves, I can take advantage of it. So, and I definitely don't want to slow down the pack. So I'm going to just kind of jump on here and let you know that I'm going to pull my weight and get up to speed, and then the rest will be history.
Okay, so tell me what part of the process you're focusing on where you feel like you need the most kind of correction.
Just knowing the process. That's it.
Overall. Okay, got it.
I mean, because once I know it, I can.
Okay, got it. Gamma, let's try it again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sirree.
What was it that you wanted to say again?
I want to know what part of the recruiting process do you feel you need guidance on the problem solving part, which then leads you to the inviting, which then leads into showing the plan, which then leads into the closing. Which one of those areas is the area that you need the most focus on right now?
I would say getting to figure out what their problem is.
Okay, so the very beginning.
Yeah, because I've been talking to a lot of people, but a lot of them are trying to recruit me. And then the ones that don't, the ones that I advance to the next step, once I get them to see the presentation, it's like, that's it. Don't hear back from them, or they're not interested.
Okay, got it. All right, Bianca?
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So I did take your advice from I think it was last week, maybe, when we got together. So I reached out to people on social media. Actually, Herschel kind of, he pinned me on a photo or some sort. And a lot of people had a lot of feedback as far as, like, hey, liked. So I reached out to all the people who liked the photo and having to deal with financial strategy or whatnot. And I've actually got some responses, which I'm following up tonight with, I sent them a presentation. I'm following up with them.
Well, hold on, Bianca. Before you go into the action steps that you've taken, which it sounds like you've done good, like you've gone directly into like a speed of implementation.
Mm-hmm.
But just right now, overall, right, you've gone through this process. What part of the process do you feel like you need to tighten up your skill on?
It would probably be the closing, because I'm thinking I've been working on the problem, then inviting, and the presentation. So I need to, because I haven't closed anyone as of yet. So there's something I definitely want to try to hone in on.
Okay, got it. I just want to get like a good, clear picture before we get going and get too deep, so I know how to help everyone.
Sure.
Christy. Oh, she stepped away. Gary.
Yes, ma'am.
What part of the process do you feel like you need the most guidance on? The problem solving part, or the problem uncovering, identifying the problem part, the inviting, the showing the plan, or the closing?
Finding the problem, I think, is more my thing, as far as engaging and getting the I guess the actual answer I'm looking for to actually find the solution to their problem.
Okay, got it. My brother, sleepless nights.
Hello. It's a bunch of people over here. That's why I gotta keep it muted.
It's all good. So where would you say you or your team needs the work?
Just first steps. What to do when they get started.
Okay. When they get started in the overall company, or when they get started, like, in terms of recruiting?
When they get started in the company.
Oh, well, now, sleepless nights, this not about onboarding process. This is about us trying to help people recruit, but I'll help you with that. I'll show you something we do, okay? We'll make that real fast, because that's kind of a whole different angle than the recruiting part. But I'll share some stuff with that. No problem. Trevor and Madrika.
Uh-oh. Hi.
Hey there. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Amazing. Thank you. So what would you say the area is that you guys want to focus on, or that you feel your team needs some assistance with? In reference to recruiting, problem solving, inviting, showing the plan, or closing?
I would say closing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Curtis.
Yes.
What part, bro?
I'm gonna say probably showing the plan and inviting.
Okay. Got it. Jonathan. What's up, Jonathan? We met at the airport in Dallas. I mean, where were we? Houston.
Yes, indeed. You better believe it. How you doing?
Amazing. How about you?
Oh, my friend, I am doing incredible, and I want to commend you on doing a phenomenal job of focusing on developing people in this process as well. And yeah, that gentleman, David Shands on Sleepless Nights, that gentleman is one person from Platinum 600, and I invited him onto the line, as well as Forenzo, my son. He's like 2 people away from Platinum 600.
All right.
So we just wanted to make sure we plugged into your system.
Okay.
And by all means, we're just I'm listening.
Okay.
And any assistance you might need, I'm here to assist you in that process as well. Okay.
Certainly, I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for jumping on and bringing Forenzo and David on.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Mackenzie.
Okay, not the home. Love you.
Mackenzie, you there?
What was that?
Hold on, let me mute somebody. Okay, we'll come back to Mackenzie. We can't hear you. Forenzo.
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I hear you loud and clear.
Absolutely. So you asking what questions I may have?
No, I'm asking you, what part of the process do you feel you need the most, you need to tweak the most? Is it the solving the finding out what the person's problem is, inviting, showing the plan, or closing, or multiple?
I honestly think I have it down packed. Just is execution time.
Okay. And that happens too, just actually taking the action, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool beans. Maybe you can pick up on some stuff and something you can use and benefit along your journey. That's fine too.
All right. Thank you.
You got it. Teresa. Ma'am? Miss Key?
Tracey, it's really loud back over here. I'll type it.
Well, you might well just say it now.
Oh, you can hear me? Wait,
yeah.
Well, I think it's mostly problem solving.
Okay.
Because I can close. I have segmented a list of people. I'd say roughly 50 people, and I just need to, work with them because they've seen the presentation, and they've also said, they like what they see with my posts, with my examples from my demo account. But I don't think they have formed a connection between, or I haven't formed it between this, this being a solution to their problem.
Okay, got it. Miss Joyce, problem solving, inviting, showing the plan, or closing. Which area do you need the most focus on? Miss Joyce? Okay, we'll come back to you. Ramonia.
Hey, Trace.
Hello, how are you?
I would say, I'm awesome. How are you doing?
I'm great.
Okay, good. I would say finding the problem, but then also maintaining patience and follow up to close. I have a tendency to feel like if somebody's really not interested or they're giving me excuses, I just move on to the next. I don't.
Okay, fair enough. Mark, Superstar Mark.
Hey, Superstar, appreciate you for allowing me to pop into your training here.
Sure.
I would actually say, now I'm put in a very vulnerable state. I would say reach out to the masses when you already have a big book of business from previous businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of, how do you engage the masses in that regard to more effectively create that speed of implementation?
Okay, so really like cold market?
No, I would definitely say warm market.
Warm market?
I would do both. I'm excited to learn more about the cold market aspect, but just engaging the thousands that you currently know.
Okay. So people that may not have been in business with you before, but you still have relationship with them.
And or people that have been in business, mainly those that have been in business as well.
Okay. Got it.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you, Connie.
Yep. Got it. Charlene.
Hello, can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, beautiful. We hear you.
Awesome. I want to be able to recruit more people in a shorter period of time.
Okay. So what part do you feel is holding you up? The finding out the problem, the inviting, the showing the plan, or the closing?
Inviting more in volume. So I just met with someone. We just had someone get started. He had 2 guests there, but I'd like to maximize the momentum that we have with each person and just make the team grow bigger, faster.
Okay, got it. Dina.
Hi, my biggest problem, I guess, is problem solving. I know as far as networkers, and they're trying to recruit me, essentially. Overcoming that, making
what's the name?
Talking in a way that I understand that I'm not looking to recruit them or put them in a company that they would have to promote. This is to grow their money. I want to get stronger on that approach.
Okay, got it. Jamie.
Yo, let me see. I think I came in a little late, but from what I'm hearing, I think everybody's just giving their weak points. Is that the case?
Yes, on the 4 different areas, what area do you feel you want to actually focus more on to actually improve? The problem solving part, inviting people, showing the plan, or closing, or any combination?
Well, I feel more like I just need to execute. And that's pretty much it. As you know, I got a lot of things going on, so just a matter of focusing in on it and execute.
Okay.
Just need to put a fire behind it. That's all.
Okay, got it. Mr. Crookshank, Jeff, how are you?
We're doing fantastic. Thank you.
Absolutely. So I know you've got a huge organization already. You guys are chairman, but is there anything that you feel that your organization can leverage in reference to what we're going over tonight, anything that we can help them with? So the problem solving, the inviting, the showing the plan, or the close?
I think, Rose, maybe the close. On the closing.
Okay. Got it. Thank you, sir. Christy, let's come back to you.
Yeah, you're talking to me now?
Yes, dear.
Okay. So I'm pretty new, but I'm already networking and meeting people, and I I talked about 14 people today who I asked to join the presentation. So I feel like the only issue I have is that only one of them actually texts back after the presentation. And that's kind of just, made my whole mood go down a little. But I'm going to have faith. So I think that my part or what I feel would be difficult is the closing. What do I do? I don't want to feel like I'm desperate and I'm just trying to say, hey, yeah, join us. You join us. And I'm sorry, it's a moth flying around me. So I feel like that tonight just showed me like, okay, the closing part is where I might have the problem, because networking, I'm wonderful at that, getting people's numbers and getting them to, like have that interest or pique their interest. It's that tonight I realized though, out of those 14 people, how many can I actually close and what more could I do to close them?
Got it. Okay, perfect. We'll take 3 more because the call's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We'll never get done. So I think I'm getting a really good. So we'll do Kalia, we'll do the wonderful Miss Marlene Stotts, and then we'll do Trisha. Okay, then everyone else who jumps on, I'm sure we'll have it covered for you. Okay, just gives me a good idea of what we need to cover. So Kalia.
Hey y'all, came in a little late, but I'm up to speed. I would say more so closing, networking, inviting people. I've gotten a few people, just inviting them in. So just focusing on the close and just continuously reaching out to make sure I wrap them in.
Okay, got it. Mrs. Stotts, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
Excellent. Thank you so much for asking.
I just jumped on a little bit late because I had to change the spelling and stuff. But I think for me, I wasn't there for the full question, but I think the biggest thing for me in recruiting is following through and following up. Sometimes I put a lot out there and then I'm like, man, I did not follow up with this person. So I think that to me is key, following through and following up.
Okay, I got it. And last but certainly not least, in terms of the little overview here, Trisha.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I did not get the question. I just jumped on board.
Okay, so the question is, in reference to recruiting, where do you feel like you need the most assistance, or the place where you need to tighten up better? Is it in the problem, the identification of the problem that the person is having that we can solve? Is it in the actual inviting them to take a look at the plan? Is it the part of where you're actually showing them the plan? Or would you say it's in the closing?
Okay. I think part of it is inviting. For me personally, it's kind of hard to get people to actually see the plan. I have no issue showing the plan. And also I would go with what Mrs. Stotts just said too, following up. Following up is key.
Okay, got it. All right, guys. So I have a very clear picture of where everybody is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got pretty much 5 people that are like problem. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the closing. And then we've got inviting 1, 2, 3, basically.
They're talking about.
And then we've got a couple of follow-ups, 1, 2, 3 follow-ups. Okay, and then we've got a couple of guys of peeps that are like, hey,
what Molly posted.
Uh-oh. Let me find you. Hold on. There we go. And then we've got a couple of peeps who know what they need to do. They just need to execute, right? Which is perfectly fine too. So hopefully you guys can grab something from this. All right. So one of the biggest things that I want everybody to understand is that when you find the problem, when you find the true problem, everything else is easy. Everything else is easy. It's super easy. It doesn't mean that they're going to sign up. It doesn't mean that this is the right opportunity for them, but you find that out very quickly, and you can either cross them off the list or follow up with a purpose. Okay. If you don't find that problem, what happens is that psychologically, the person does not connect to why they even need to see the video in the first place. Okay. If you're sending it prematurely, then they'll do it when they have time, which is never, right? Because we prioritize what we find to be important. And what makes something important? It makes it important if you believe that it impacts you directly right now, right? If it doesn't have anything to do with right now, then you're not going to take 5 minutes, short of your lunch break to go and watch a 45-minute video. You're not going to do it. You're not going to stay up at night after you put your kids to sleep to watch the video if you don't believe there's any benefit to you watching the video. You're not going to follow up, aggressively, or you're not going to get back to the person unless you've watched it. But if you haven't watched it, it's because you don't see what the benefit is. Okay. So it's super, super, super important that we find out what the person's problem is. What do they want solved? And then we have to bridge that gap. And then we have to actually confirm that we've bridged that gap before we send the plan. Okay. This is a psychological game. It's almost like therapy, right? Like if you were a psychologist and somebody came into your office and sat on your couch, I don't know if anybody's a psychologist here or not, but essentially what do? They ask you a bunch of questions, right? How do you feel about that? Or what happened with that? Why do you believe that took place, right? How would you want to see that change, right? That's what they do. And the whole goal is to help people walk down their own path to their own solution by guiding them, not by giving it to them, right? Most people don't respect something that's given to them. They earn it, and it has a little bit more, respect on it. So I want to start the process with that. Okay. Now, backing up for a second, because I know Mark was like, okay, well, let's start with talking to the people that we already know to begin with. Okay. I do a lot. I've recruited almost every single person using Facebook. Okay. Using Facebook. Now, is it true that I've had some leverage on Facebook? Yes. But the truth is, Mark, you do too, right? I mean, a lot of you guys do for sure, right? It's just maybe how you're not using the leverage for the recruiting aspect of things. Okay. So essentially what I do is, especially when I first got started in iML, right? I was coming from another company that pretty much has shut down, and it's like I'm starting from scratch. Okay. Some people did come on board with me, but a lot of people did not. Okay. So I built really from scratch. All right. And so what I did was I literally wrote down a list, which we already know this, right? I literally wrote down a list, and I've shown this to you guys on the team over and over and over again. I actually have a second notebook going now, but I signed up June the 17th, right? And I started this list. So where did this list come from? This list came from people on Facebook. I wrote it down, right? I didn't just kind of go through Messenger and try to randomly pick people. I went through my friends list. It takes a minute, right? I went through the friends list, and I started thinking about people that I had either worked with before, that I had not worked with, but maybe I had indicated that they would have worked with me had they known about me before they signed up with somebody else, or something like that. We built a relationship or whatever. So I wrote a list of all those people down. So that's step number one for everybody. I don't care whether it's a Facebook list, an Instagram list, a phone book list, a cell phone book list, or wherever the list comes from. You need to write it down, because as this begins to grow, it will be overwhelming for your follow-up process if you don't have any type of strategic approach to starting it off. All right. So you're going to have to do that. So write it down. Write down the names of the people that you know, especially some of you guys that are in network marketing right now, right? Or, you see people make these posts about their job or whatever. People that you know. That's all I'm saying, right? Just write down the names of the people, okay? From there, what I did was I actually went to them, right? I actually sent them a Facebook message, and my Facebook message was something along the lines of, hey, Mark, it's Tracey. It's been quite some time since we've chatted. How's everything going? That's like the opening line, right? And that starts me into communication with this person. You guys already know the form formula, right? I'm almost positive that I'm not going to say anything here tonight that many of you guys have never, ever heard before. The idea, though, is that you have to do it and be so consistent with it that it just turns over and over and over for you without fail, okay? And that's pretty much what happens. So that conversation, then, hold on, I'm going to mute somebody here. That conversation, my whole purpose is to find out their problem. Where is there an area of weakness? What is it that they would like to compensate for where right now there's a void, okay? And I use the form process. For those of you that are not familiar with form, it is family, occupation, recreation, and it's different things. People say money, motivation, message, whatever. The bottom line is just like, what's the thing, right? What's the thing that's going to push them over the edge? Okay. So that form process, FORM, is the framework. It does not have to be in chronological order. It has to go where it makes sense. So if you are speaking to, let's say, someone that you work with, then you probably might start with something in reference to work, right? Because that's where the relationship is, unless you know something about their family. Oh my goodness, I saw your pictures on Facebook. The baby turned 6. How amazing is that? How's 6 years old? How's being a parent of 6 years old treating you these days, right? Getting any rest, whatever, right? You've got to find an inroad, okay? Work related questions. How's everything going with the, the job? Like, what are you doing now? What's your area of focus in your career right now? What are you doing, right? However you say that, whatever is comfortable for you to say that, you got to nail down that lingo for you. What I can't do is give you how to talk, because it's got to be natural, right? You know how you speak. But what I am trying to give you is the process by which you start going through that F, the O, the R, and the M, so that when you get down to actually pitching, right, asking the peak interest question, you get a yes every time. You get a yes every time, right? I pretty much have, and I'm not even joking, 100% yes every time I ask the peak interest question. And that is because if I sense anywhere inside of my form process that this person is not ideal, I don't even ask the peak interest question. Do you guys understand that? I'm not just asking peak interest question just to ask it for the sake of asking it. I'm only asking it when I feel like I've got something that I can help them with. And if I don't feel like I've got something I can help them with, or they're perfectly happy with their life and there's no area that they would like to touch and everything is just footloose and fancy free, I don't even ask the peak interest question. When you don't ask the question, then you don't get a no. You understand what I'm saying? You don't get a no, you don't get a yes either, but it doesn't matter. Okay, you only ask the question. It's a thing in sales, and they say, when do you know when to ask for the close? And the answer is when you know they're going to say yes. That's the only time you ask for the close, is when you know they're going to say yes. If you don't know for a fact that the person is going to say yes to the peak interest question, don't even ask it. Am I clear? Don't even ask it. Right? So I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna show you guys my Facebook. I'm gonna try to find some messages and show you the process. I've done this over and over and over again, right? So you can see kind of the flow of the conversations in real life that I have with people. A lot of times at this point, people come to me now, right? Because they're seeing things on Facebook that now they're putting together. But going back, that form process. How are you doing? What's new? Are you building anything now? How did everything go with company A? Are you working with any of the leaders over there? A lot of networkers, I'm having that question. It's still in the occupation world, right? What are they doing? How are they doing? Are they excited about what they're doing? Are they open to looking at something? Like, where are they? I'm trying to figure that out. Right. And once I figure out exactly what they have, my peak interest question is this. So if there were a way where you could actually learn how to, whatever they said their problem was, would you be open to learning more about that? That's my peak interest question. Because I'm talking to a lot more networkers. Now, in certain instances, I will say, but very rare, very, the types of people I'm talking to, very rare will I say David's peak interest question, right? I'll say it in the presentation, like actually doing the overview, the slides. But very rarely do I ask that question in my form process. That's just me. But I have it as a tool to use when I need it, which essentially is, over the last 10 years of all the money that's flowed through your bank account, how much money have you made on it, right? That only would come up if I got down to the nitty gritty. Now, that's happened to me a lot more on Instagram recently, because people will say things like, I've seen some of your posts, and I know that I need to do something with my money. Like, people will say that to me. And if they say that to me, that gives me permission to say back to them, okay, well, over the last 10 years of all the money that you had flowing through your bank account, how much did you make on it, right? Because now it's easy for them to answer that. I'm not prying, because they came to me with I need to do something better with my money. Does that make sense? Okay. So that form process, I'll show you that. In reference to the inviting, my peak interest question is what I just said it is. I say it I type it over and over and over again. So if there were a way for you to actually be able to, spend more time with your kids and not have to work so much away from the home, would you be open to learning more about how to do that?
See, that's why I don't do it.
And therefore, by the time I ask that question, I know that they're going to say yes. Okay. And once they say yes, what I say to them is I say, okay, well, great. Let's do this. Here's something that's really important in communication with people. It's together, right? It's a team. So when I'm communicating with people that I'm looking to recruit into my business, even if I'm giving them direction, right? Because your posture matters. But when given direction, I will still say, let's do this. So how about we do this next? Okay. So I say to them, okay, well, great. Let's do this. I'm going to send you over a video where my leader and mentor is going to explain in detail how our platform works and how you can use it to do A, B, and C. Okay. If I send you this video, will you take a look at it? And then they're going to say what? Yes. You guys get what I'm saying? If you skip these steps and you just send them a link, you have no commitment. So then when you are in your follow-up process, you feel funny. You feel funny because you feel like you're hounding them. But in my world, you gave me a commitment. I'm going to hold you accountable to that. It's a whole different type of posture. Okay? It's a whole different type of posture. So if I send you the video, all right, will you take a look at it? Yes. Okay, great. So here's the link, www.imlpresentation.com. Take a look at it. And then I will say this, get back with me once you're done and let me know if it makes sense. Now, why do I ask, let me know if it makes sense? Because I'm not asking for a commitment of anything other than to watch the video, right? I don't say, let me know if you want to get started. And let me know if you want to get going. Let me know if you want to get enrolled, right? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is get back with me and let me know if it makes sense. Most people, the wall is down. There's no pressure to let me know if it makes sense because they watch the video and either they feel it made sense or they don't feel that it made sense, right? And if they don't feel that it made sense, guess what? You can cross them off the list very quickly. But there's no pressure. So that key inviting phrase is if there were a way where you could A, B, C, and D, would you be open to taking a look at that? Or would you be open to learning how you could do that? They say yes. Okay, great. So let's do this next. Here's what we're going to do. Okay. I'm going to send you a link to a video where my leader and mentor is going to break down exactly how our platform works and how you can use it to do blah, 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 blah. If I send this Will you take a look at it? Yes. Great. Here's the link, www.imlpresentation.com. Go ahead, check it out. And when you're done, get back with me and let me know if it makes sense. Is that fair enough? Right? You always have to end with a question, right? Confirmations. It's kind of like what we're learning in trading, right? Confirmations, right? So is that fair? Or is that cool? Or okay? Or something that ends with a question to confirm that, yes, I'll watch it. And when I'm done, I will get back with you. Okay. And then we're done. Okay. So let's just take that piece right there before we get into closing and follow up or whatever. Because we did problem and we did inviting and we pretty much did showing the plan all together. Okay. Does that make sense what I just shared? Is anyone unclear on how to go through that process and ask those specific questions when you're ready to shift over, when you start asking your peak interest question, which is now leading you into the inviting phase to show the plan? Does everybody understand the peak interest question? Okay, so let's do this. I need a volunteer and I want you to prospect me live right here, right now. I want to hear what you would say or what you would type, and then we'll go from there. So I need a volunteer. Oh, don't y'all get quiet now. Especially my executors on here.
All right, I think I'll give it a try.
Who said that? Uh-oh.
Kurt.
Okay. All right, Kurt. Let's go for it. So let's say you inbox me on Facebook. Okay, so we'll pretend this is a Facebook conversation, or this could be on the phone, but that's kind of the setup, is at least a messenger chat. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I'll inbox and I'm gonna inbox you. Hey, how's it going, Tracey? How's everything been going with you lately in just with life in general?
Okay, let's go back. So do I talk to you often, or have I not heard from you in a while?
We don't even know each other. Put it like that. We don't know each other at all. You saw one of my posts and you're asking for information.
Oh, now I'm not asking you for information. Let me try to make it easy for you.
Okay, so wait. So which one is it? Is it me asking? Is it you asking me or me trying to close you? Which one is it?
You're prospecting me. I'm the prospect. You are the rep. Okay, and now you are communicating to me or with me in an effort to recruit me into your IML business.
Okay. So yeah, we haven't spoken in a while.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, cool. Okay. Hey, Tracey, how are things going with you lately?
Oh, hey, Kurt, what's going on? Everything is going well. How about you?
Awesome. Everything's going really well. I wanted to reach out to you and see how you were doing. I haven't heard from you in a while. I wanted to make sure everything was going great. I saw you post a couple of things with Little Man in the pictures. Like, he's getting big really fast. Like, I was wondering how does it feel, to have a little man running around every day, keeping you busy.
Listen, keeping me busy isn't even the word, okay? I get no sleep. I have no idea whether I'm coming or going half the time, but being a mother is definitely one of the best jobs in the whole entire world. I wouldn't change it for anything. My pumpkin is the world. He's everything. So thanks for asking that. Thanks for noticing. Everything's great.
Awesome. You seem really great at being a mom, too. He seems super happy. You guys are all having a great time every day. I love it. So I wanted to touch base with you, and just, like I said, kind of just see how you were doing, just touch base and see how, how things were going and everything like that. Like with everything that you said, being busy and everything like that, like, is there anything you've been involved with lately, that's been, really treating you well, or, just things that have been new, like anything new that's going on that, you would like to kind of share? I know you usually saying some of the some of the up and coming things. I want to see if you can give me a little insight on something.
Something that I want to share? No, like what?
Well, are you trying a new business out? Are you doing anything, financially that may seem a little new, or, something that you may be trying to, work out, anything of that nature?
I'm actually not doing any businesses right now. My last company pretty much shut down, and I'm burned out. Like, the last thing I'm trying to do is another MLM at this point in time.
Right. I completely understand. I mean, I hear what you're telling me. You got little man now. You got new things. Life's transforming every day. You're problem solving every day, trying to do new things. I totally understand that. And you don't want anything new taking up a lot of that time, especially right now with him being that age. You want to devote a lot of that time to him. I totally understand that. Well, if there was something that I could offer you that would allow you to keep your time with little man.
Okay, now stop right there. Too early.
Okay.
You see, too early. I never said that time was an issue for me. I said I was busy, and I said that, I don't know where I'm coming or going, but you didn't give me, there was nowhere in there for me to go deeper to say to you, you know what, Kurt, really, I just don't have any time. Like, I really just want to find a way to make more time in my life, because I'm just so busy with work or, being a mom. And we didn't have that conversation yet.
Okay.
The key, guys, is that you always have to get the person to say it first. And then you use what they say. If you suggest it to me, I can reject that.
Okay.
I can reject that, right? And I could say, no, there's nothing that, my time is, I'm a little busy, but I'm cool.
Right. Like, I'm good. All right. So when you say the form process, like, what exactly are the steps of form? Because this is like my first time ever hearing about this at all. So, like, when you say form, like, what are the steps with form?
Okay. So F is for family, where you ask questions about family. O is where you ask questions about occupation.
Okay.
R is where you ask questions in reference to recreation. So hobbies, things that they like to do. And then M is pretty much like the money, right? The money issue or something that motivates them.
Okay. Okay, so with how we just led that one off, I have to find a way to segue into you basically telling me what your problem would be so I can find a way to solve that problem.
Correct. Or at least insinuate that I have a problem, and then you dig deeper with questions that start to agitate that problem so that it's crystal clear that this is something that I need to fix in my life, and where I will agree with you because I have outwardly admitted that this is the thing that's causing me havoc.
Okay. So with that being said, so after we go through, the friendly invite, asking questions, showing concern, breaking the ice, do I go right in? So is there anything that's going on in your life right now that you wish was different?
You could say that. Right? Like, for example, a lady inboxed me today. I'll show you guys. Show it to you. She inboxed me today, and just generally she goes, "Hey, Tracey, could you share with me some information on the trading?" Right? And I said, "Well, sure, I'd be happy to." I said, "But first, let me ask you this. What is it that you're looking to do? What is it you want to accomplish?" See, because if I just send her the link because she asked for it, I have still no commitment. Right now, I'm just sending out links. I don't like to do that. I want to know, what is it that you're looking to accomplish? And so she's the type of personality I could tell that either she didn't want to reveal too much, or she doesn't know. Okay. But what she said was, Josiah, please stop. Leave my phone alone. What she said was, well, I just want an overall better life, a better way of life, better living. And I said, okay. I said, so what does a better way of life, a better way of living look like? And then she said to me, I can go over here and see what she said exactly. Matter of fact, I'll just share my screen and show it to you guys what she said. Hold on. Let me pull up Facebook first. And then you guys can see exactly what she said. Hold on. Okay. So we're going to go into Messenger. And let's move that out the way. And let's do right here. Right? So this is just, so this is, 8:15, right, tonight, no conversation prior to that. Can you submit information on your trade business? Sure, but first let me ask, what do you want to accomplish? A better way of living. Very short answers, right? Very short answers. So what do you do now? I'm a stay-at-home mom and wife. So that gets, so I know what she does. I know what she does occupationally, right? She's at home. And so what does a better way of living look like? She goes, it's too much to write, but major changes for the good. So she's not giving me anything, right? So then I have to keep going. Like, this is my business, right? I'm not going to throw you the link. Hey, wait a minute. Wait. I'm not going to just throw you the link because you asked for it. I'm qualifying you for my business, even for my mentor's time on that video that he did one time, right? So major changes for the good. Well, what's the most major thing, right? So now she starts to say a little bit, well, security, financially, emotionally, physically. So it's not a lot, right? So I said, okay, got it, right? She's kind of short. I get what she's saying. Here's a video that breaks down the platform we're using to learn and trade Forex. Why am I saying that directly like that? Because she asked me for it, right? She knows it's a trade business already, right? I don't have to go into a whole bunch of details. Check it out. Get back with me once you complete it and let me know if it makes sense, okay? Right? So what does she do? She says, okay, we'll do, thanks. My pleasure. That's it. Right? So I didn't get to a whole bunch with her, but I have a better idea. I know that she's a stay-at-home mom and wife. She wants a better way of living. I can only assume, right? I don't really know, but there may be something going on where, because she says she's a wife, so there's a husband there, right? So she's not single mom or anything, but maybe he's making all the money and she feels like she wants to contribute, right? And she hasn't found anything. Or maybe he's pressing her to generate an income. I don't know, right? Maybe she just is bored in life, right? And doesn't feel excited about anything, right? I can get into that later, but there's something going on, right? She says it's too much to write. Now that could either mean I really don't know, and I'm just going to pretend that it's too much, or it really is too much, right?
That could be one of those. We was closer. I have a whole lot more time to tell you this.
Exactly. You know, and I mean, if I wasn't already busy, I may have gone deeper. But that's why I just said, well, what's the most major thing? Like, I got to have something to grab to. Why? Because when we get done with this presentation, when I start closing her, I've got to have ammunition. If I don't know this before I send her the presentation, people are more than likely ready to create scenarios versus being truthful about the scenario.
So with the things that she shared with you, can you confidently close her just with knowing that she just wants a better way of life with security? And I know like security is probably like a really good thing to nail home with that, you know, being able to have the skill set that allows you to have that financial freedom. So is this confidently enough information for you to just close her?
Well, there's a couple of things. First, she came to me. Okay. Right. So the fact that she came to me is like 5 out of 10 points by itself.
Okay.
Okay. So whenever somebody comes to you, you're in a better position to close. If what you share with them makes sense to them. Okay. That's why the question is, let me know if it makes sense. All right. So I feel like there's a high probability of closing because she asked for it. She must have already done a little bit of reviewing, looking, searching something. She knows the trade business. She's seen pictures, whatever. Fine. Okay. And then she tells me she wants a better way of living. So in her mind, she is assessing that possibly what I'm doing can provide her with a better way of living if she were to do it too. I have to think like her. That's the psychological aspect behind it. Like you have to step inside the shoes of your prospect. How is she thinking? And what does life look like through her glasses? And that's why I was saying, well, okay, there's a husband there. There's something going on. I don't know what. It could be a good scenario. It could be a bad scenario, but there's something. She's not coming. She's not that forthcoming. That might just be her personality. I can't make any judgments. All I can do is just try to, finagle and bob and weave around it just to see if I can pull a little bit out of her. But to say security, some reason she doesn't feel secure, and she's a mother and she's a wife. I will tell you right now, as a woman, and ladies, you understand this. If you have a husband or a boyfriend or have been married before, anything like that, like I've been married before, if you do not feel secure with the man that's in the household, that's a problem. Right? It's a problem. You feel shaky. Okay? So to say security, right? Financially, okay, emotionally, that's a personal thing going on there.
Yeah.
Okay? And then physically. So I don't know what that is per se, because it could be multiple things, but security, financially, emotion, that's a lot. That's a lot. She does not feel financially secure and she doesn't work. She's a stay-at-home mom and wife. So she wants something she can do from home because I'm a mom and I get it. Okay. So a lot is being said here, even though a little is being said here. Right. So I feel comfortable enough to say, okay, take a look at the video. Now here's the other thing. Okay. I'm confident in this video. Right. I know that video. I know that video backwards and forwards. Right. I'm confident in the tool that I'm sending her because I know how David breaks down the information. And so if she comes back, right, and then I hit her with the first closing question, which is, hey, did you get a chance to take a look at the video? Right? And she says, yes. And then I say, okay, great. So tell me, what did you like best about what you saw? Mm-hmm. And then she goes, well, I just don't think it's the right thing for me. I say, okay, great. Glad I could share. Right? If there's anyone else that you believe this information could help, please feel free to share my information and maybe we can work and help them out as well. Like, I'm not trying to convince her. If David doesn't do the legwork and it doesn't make sense to her, I'm done. Some of you guys want to try to convince people after they've seen David. And I don't, because I've had way too many see it and say, you know what, I'm in, including me. Right? So I don't give it that much energy. If you see it and you say, I don't think it's for me, I say, okay, great. Thanks for taking a look. Have a great life, basically.
Okay.
Okay.
So everything for you is like just interview process. If they don't meet the criteria, it's no point of even trying to go further and do anything extra. Because for me, when I do this, I find myself like answering way more questions and I'm asking, they get like real just, and it's like real, like just questions that don't have anything to even do with iML or Forex. It's just like, so like now the brokers and the broker this, and I'm like, wait, the bro, and the banks, they do this. And I'm like,
yeah, that's way too much. That's way too much.
Yeah.
That's way too much talking. And then you've got to control the conversation because we're not having that type of conversation. Now, I'll take this back. To a certain extent, there are people that I have sponsored that are financial experts, like financial advisors and people. I've sponsored people that are traders already, that have worked on Wall Street, okay, and that have traded. And so I still it's still my business, right? And you're still going to follow my process. And once this is done, usually that doesn't come up until I ask them, so what did you like best about what you saw? Right. And for example, my guy at that time, and he's in now, but he said, well, what I like is that, I actually find assets for my clients to invest in. And what I don't like is that they have their money sitting in the bank until I find a project. I've traded Forex before. I traded on Wall Street. And what I prefer is if they had their money earning money while we're waiting on some of the capital investments. And I don't want to take the time to teach them Forex. I love how iML is because it will give them the basics and the understanding. And then I can just, kind of guide them because I understand it. And so we've had conversations about that. We talked about risk management, right? But that's okay at that point, because when I asked you, what did you like best about what you saw? You gave me an affirmative answer, which is that you liked what you saw.
Okay.
Right? The affirmative. If you say to me, oh, well, I didn't, because I've had people say, well, I just don't understand. I just don't understand what he's saying. right? And then I'll say, you don't understand what he said in 44 minutes? They're like, no, I don't understand. I'll say, okay, well, here's what I'm going to recommend that you do. Go back and watch it again. And any point at which you feel like you're losing him a little bit, rewind. I direct people back to the third-party tool. I do not then take it upon myself to try to clarify something that they believe David couldn't clarify. I know that he clarified everything perfectly clear in that video. If they didn't understand it, that's not a crime. But then I need to train them right now that I am not going to do the fishing for you. I can teach you how to fish, but I will not give you the fish. I'm not going to be the guy. Go back to David, watch it again.
Okay.
Like that has to start at the beginning. That posture, that leadership has to start at the beginning. Here's another example. This lady just signed up, right? She wasn't on my team in the previous company, but she says, hey, remember me from, the company? I'm involved in something now. She says this right out the back, right? I'm involved in something now, but I see some familiar faces in your photo and would love to hear more about what you all are up to, right? I'm intrigued. I said, hey, Olivia, it's great to hear from you. So yeah, we decided to move into something where I could help people make money, whether they recruited or not. Are you familiar with Forex? Right? Now, I asked her that question because, again, she came to me. But before I said, okay, yeah, sure, here's the link. Right? I need to know, are you familiar with something a little bit? Pre-qualify this. I've heard about it, but I don't know much about it. I'm open to anything that doesn't require a lot of recruiting the traditional way. I'm a little burnt out. So this Forex thing sounds pretty appealing. Can you send me some info? Thanks. Right? She's already given me what her problem is. Hasn't she? She's burned out on recruiting.
Yep.
She told me up here, I'm already involved in something. But if you're involved in something and you're looking for something else, something ain't right with what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I get that very crystal clear. And she's burned out on this. So the Forex thing sounds appealing. Olivia, sure, I'd be happy to. Take a look at the video, get back with me this evening once you've watched it. We can chat further then. Sound good? Right? She goes, okay, this sounds good. I'd like to talk to you more. You can call me at this number. So that's fine. I'm eating lunch right now. I'll give you a buzz and a view. So ask her, are you available to chat now? Don't worry about this. I'm sorry, guys, I want to show that. But that's the link to get started, right? Because so I spoke to her on the phone for like 30 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. And then I told her I would send her the link, which I did. Then she was having an issue, sign it up, whatever. And then she finally got signed up, right? And then I started the onboarding process. So even getting people off of Facebook, some people, it's going to be beneficial to you because it's going to be better, right? But either way, you need to see the presentation before I take time to speak with you. I'm not speaking with you and you haven't seen the information under any circumstances.
Okay.
That's the rule. You have to see it because what I'm not going to tolerate are questions about things that can go on and on and on and on because you haven't seen it in its totality.
Okay. All right.
Okay. That makes sense for everybody else too? Any questions on that or comments or feedback or anything in reference to it? I mean, we're here now, guys, so let's go ahead and clear this up.
Yeah, no, I learned a lot just from that little bit right there because me working on Facebook, I get a lot of attention on Facebook from, just from trading and posting profits, stuff like that. But when I get those people that, chime in and they want information and I dropped the video. I was using the old stuff. So I'm going to start using this one you have with IMLpresentation.com because the old one that they were giving, like IML, what is IML? That thing was horrible. So this is way
that was there too, right? But fortunately, at the time that I came in, David had already recorded IML presentation, right? Yeah. So I'd rather use that.
It's a lot better. His is a lot better.
So, Tracey?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so one of the people that did reach out to me, they were like, well, how do I have time? I don't think I'm going to have time to do this and my job. So how would you respond to that?
Okay, well, let's go back first. Okay. What was the scenario in which you gave them the presentation link in the first place?
Okay, well, I didn't give him the presentation link, so maybe that's where, because and Gary did say I should send him the IML presentation, but I saw the link with David tonight, and so I invited him to that.
Which that's fine, but you still have to take people through the process. You have to qualify. You got to look at it like this. Whenever someone's doing a presentation, whether it's online or whether it's offline, I still look at it as if you have to qualify for this person's time.
Right.
Okay.
Well, okay. So it was at a networking event, and he's like, "Hey, what do you do?" Because he saw my bracelet, and I said, "Well, what? Let me ask you this: what do you do right now?" And he said, "I'm a trainer," and I said, "Okay, well, are you interested in making more money? Is this what you want to do?" And he said, "Well, I would love to do anything to where I can make more money." And I said, okay, well then just give me your phone number and then I will, get back to you. And that's when I sent him the link to watch David.
Okay,
so,
go back. So he gave you the phone number, and then the next interaction you had with him was you just sending him a link?
Well, I texted him and said, hey, this is Christy. We met here, and you told me that you were interested in making more money. So let me send you this link, watch it. Call me, let me know what you think about it afterwards, if you have any questions and so forth.
Now that's
and
too
then,
much.
They're like, okay, yeah, we're so excited to learn more about this. But then after
listen, way too much.
It was showing them this video?
No, way too much talking right then. Not enough asking questions. Okay, so he goes, so you say, hey, this is Christy. We met at the networking event, and I just wanted to touch bases with you because I remember you told me that, you were looking to, you want to do something where you can make more money. But let me ask you this. How much more money are you looking to make per month? Oh, I'm looking to make an extra $2,000. Okay. And so what would having the extra $2,000 allow you to do? Well, if I had an extra $2,000, then I could probably, now you say a trainer. Are you talking about like a personal trainer? What kind of trainer is he?
Personal trainer.
Okay, it's like physical fitness. Right. So what would an extra
personal trainer?
What would an extra $2,000 a month allow you to do? And I don't know what he would reveal. He might say, because how personal trainers work, it's the self-employed category, right? They have to show up in order to train their clients. That's the whole point. They get paid to do. So he might say something like, well, if I was making an extra $2,000 a month, then I wouldn't have to have so many personal clients where I'm in the gym all day long. Okay. And so if you weren't in the gym all day long, what would you do with that newfound time that you have? You see what I'm saying? Like you have to ask these.
Yeah, I see.
All right. And then he'll say, well, if I had that time, I would do this, I would do that. Okay. Then the peak interest, you have to ask the peak interest question. Okay. So Mr. Personal Trainer, stop punking. If there were a way where you could actually generate the amount of money that you're looking at, this extra $2,000 a month, and it actually create for you the time that you don't have right now, would you be open to learning how to do that? Right?
Right. Okay.
I've obliterated the time objection because he's going into this with the mindset that this is going to help me get the time.
Right. Okay.
Whenever you have not every objection, but a lot of objections that you may have happen because of something that wasn't discovered before they saw the plan.
Okay.
But where you are right now. So anyway, that's how you would move forward. Okay. In this conversation. But regarding this personal conversation, so he asked you what now? How would I have the time to do this?
Right. And so that's why so that's what he said after he watched the video.
Okay. So what did you ask him? So how did you know that he finished watching the video? Did he text you or how did that happen?
Okay, so after the video was over, so it was him and his girlfriend together watching the video. So I texted his girlfriend and I said, the video is over now. Just let me know if you have any questions. And then that's when the boyfriend texts back and he said, well, I don't know how I would have time to do this. And and have his current job that he has now.
Okay.
And all I did was say, you know, I can send you some more information. I really didn't know what to say because
it's a dead end. It's a dead end.
Yeah, and I kind of dove in, you know, like into this, and I'm like, okay, I got the people, but now it's like I said, the closing part, you know, what we were talking about earlier, and that's where, like you said, those questions, it makes people have to open up more and answer you, and then, you know, you can, like you said, help solve their problems or try to anyways. And that's what I was missing. That's what I was missing right there, is those questions, asking them more questions.
And then also, we're going to kind of go into the closing here in just a second, so we can go ahead and wrap that part up. But whenever the overview is done, you don't ever ask them, do they have questions? Ever.
Okay.
That is not the first question that you ask, ever, because they do have questions. And if they start asking questions before you have your ammunition, they're in control of the conversation, not you. Now you're on the defense. Okay. You're on the defense. And this is your posture has to be, look, I've got something that you said you needed. Do you see it as a way to fit in your life, or do you not? Because either way, I'm good. Like, that needs to be your psychological mental process, right? So so you send him to David tonight, 8:00, right? The call was over. You text them back, say, hey guys, you know, did you finish taking a look at the presentation? Did you get a chance to watch?
Well, actually, I take that back. He texted me first and said, so it's $195 to join and $145 a month.
Right. And then that's you can say something like this. You can say, correct. So what did you like best about what you saw? Right? Like,
right. Okay. Instead of me like kind of giving answers, and you're right, because then he took control.
Exactly right.
He took control. So
in that process, you can answer the question, but don't go down the rabbit hole with the answer.
Nope.
Yes, right. Is it $195?
I got too much.
It's okay. $195 to get started, $145 a month. That's correct. So what did you like best about what you saw? Because you got to know. You got to know, do you have a player or do you not have a player? Well, and that question gets them to start thinking on the right side of how we want them to think, which is focusing on what they like, not on the, well, how am I going to do this?
Right.
What did you like best about what you saw? Well, I like this and I like that. Okay. Everybody got that part? Right? When someone gets done, if you send someone to a Blitz presentation, or you send someone to a live Zoom, or you send somebody to another market because the stocks are doing a presentation, right? And they go there and then they get back home and they say, okay, well, I went and I saw the presentation was very nice. You know, it was great information. And then your thing is, great. So what did you like best about what you saw? Every time. What did you like best about what you saw? And they're going to tell you something, one way or another, right? And if it's affirmative, then it's okay, awesome. My next question was really the third one, because the first question was, did you get a chance to watch it, right? If you're reaching out to them, you have to ask that. If they reach back out to you and say, hey, well, it's over and I saw it, obviously you don't have to ask that question. But then your next question then becomes, what do you like best about what you saw? If it's affirmative, then you say, you know, those are some of the things that I loved about it too. Whatever they say. If they say, well, I like the fact that I can make money without having to recruit. You know, I love that part about it too. It's amazing. Don't you think? Yes, I do. Great. So, right. So that's affirmative. Okay. Next question is, is this something that you can see yourself aligning with?
Okay.
Because I got to know, right? Before I say, okay, here's the enrollment link, or you want to use Visa, MasterCard, like I have to know, do you even see yourself doing this? Right? If they say, actually, no, I don't see myself doing this, then I don't even have to ask the final question, do I? I could say, okay, well, what was it that, that you didn't jive with or something like that, just for curiosity, right? Well, I really didn't like the fact that it's finance, because I had somebody tell me before, I really don't like numbers and finances and this and that and this and that. My personal opinion is not, I'm not going to project that on people. That's just me. Now, some people are more hardcore closers. I'm not that. I'd rather just go get more people, right? And throw them into the situation. But if somebody tells me that they don't like numbers and they don't understand finance that well, and investments make them like go cross-eyed, I'll say, okay, well, I totally get it. Sometimes everything isn't for everybody, but I certainly hope that you find what you're looking for so that you can, have that better life you're looking for. I'm done.
Okay.
Right? But if they say yes, most people will say, yeah, definitely. I see this as something I can align with. That's another affirmative, right? There's something that's called, dang on that, I lost the concept right now. Stop this, I get it off my keypad. I think of the phrase I'm talking about just a second, but it's when somebody might even know, I can't even think about it, but it's when you can get people to say yes several times before conditional yeses, right? So if I can get you to say yes, and you're going in the same direction mentally as me enough times before I ask you the final question, which is what we want a yes to, then the likelihood that you're going to say yes to my final question is just as confirmed as all the other yeses that you said that you gave for my previous questions. That make sense?
Right.
Okay. So what'd you like best about what you saw? These are affirmative things. Is this something that you can see yourself aligning with? Yes. Yes, I can. Okay, great. So here's my last final question really. How soon are you looking to get started? Awesome. Great. So how soon are you looking to get started?
Okay.
And what that question does is it takes the pressure off of you trying to figure out a day and a time, right? It makes them give you the time.
Right.
In many cases, people will say, well, I'm ready as soon as you send me the link. Awesome. Here it is. Right? Sometimes people will say, well, I got to get my money together. I don't get paid till Friday. So let's do it Friday. Okay, awesome. Is there a particular time that works best for you on Friday? I give you a buzz. Yeah, Friday about 6 or 7 o'clock, I'll be home. Dinner will be done and I'll be ready. I can focus on that. Okay, great. Oh, I'm not going to have my money until 2 weeks, but 2 weeks I'm going to get started. I will literally pull up my calendar on my phone, or I will pull up the calendar on my computer, and I will say, okay, 2 weeks, what, today, Wednesday? Or what day in 2 weeks? 2 weeks, Friday. Okay, so the 20th, October the 20th, does that work for you? Yes, that's perfect. Awesome. So I got you down. What we'll do is we'll get you plugged in on the 20th. And then I kind of take them through a little process. Well, in the meantime, what I'm going to do is plug you in right to our team chat and keep you in the loop, that whole thing. But I'm getting dates or time frames out the gate, right? I don't have to follow up a week and figure out, well, are you ready now? Are you ready now? Are you ready now? I already know. And so what that does is, even if people don't honor the time that they say, because they don't always, right? Okay, I'm going to get ready. I'm going to be ready next Friday. And then next Friday, I hit them up and I say, okay, well, today is your lucky day, right? We're supposed to be getting plugged in today. You all set? You ready to go? Oh, Trace, actually, my tire blew and I don't have the money like I thought I was going to have it. And oh my goodness, I can't sign up today. And I'll say, oh my goodness, your tire blew. So sorry to hear that. Okay. Well, when will be the next best time that you're ready to get started? Next Friday. Next Friday. All right. Now, Christy, next Friday. Are you sure you're gonna be ready to get started next Friday? Yes, Trace. I'm gonna be ready. I'm gonna be sure. Awesome. So what I'll do is I just go ahead and I'll put you in my book. I'll give you a buzz next Friday. Be careful driving that car. Don't roll over any tires. All right. Be safe out there. All right. And then we'll just chat next Friday. That fair enough? Yes, Trace, it's fair. And what are they doing? They're thanking me. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you. Okay. Later. I'm not even joking. Not even joking. Halfway. Right? It's the posture. I've got something that I'm already doing, that I'm already succeeding with, that you want, because you don't have any time. So if you don't sign up, that's not hurting me, especially in IML, right? More so in this business than any business I've ever done in my entire life. Because really, although I am growing an organization, in real life, the money that I make doesn't have to come from your $35. Like, that's not even an issue, right? Does that make sense? Like that whole, can you see the bigger picture of what we're doing? Miss Christie. You're muted, but you're smiling, so I'm assuming that is, yes, you see it, you got it, makes sense, thumbs up maybe?
Sorry, couldn't get off the mute button.
Okay, so now
yeah, it makes, yeah.
Any of the other people that you've met at your networking events and people that you will meet, don't throw the meat at them, right? Make them ask for the meat, right? Don't just throw the spam out there and just, they just, it's precious to an extent, right? Do you qualify to be in front of David and Manitier? Because here's the truth of the matter. Let's just say I needed to do a 3-way call, right? And I did need to call David up and say, hey, you got time for a 3-way, right? If I had not postured up and, edify him appropriately and make people qualify for his time, then when I try to qualify them for his time on the call, it's going to be tough, right? People will cancel, all that type of stuff, which we don't want. Okay. Any other questions or comments on that? We kind of went through the closing process a little bit too.
Yeah, Tracey, this is Jonathan. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I hear you and I see you.
Okay, great deal. Well, first of all, this has been awesome, and hopefully people have been taking notes just on the process of what you were going through. I think you did an incredible job. First of all, I want to thank Christy and I want to thank Curtis for going through the process. And you were giving them, tough love, which is necessary. Developers, they don't cater to your feelings. They focus on making you become better. And you did an incredible job through those scenarios. So congratulations, guys, on empowering the team here. And I want to simply say, I want to point out a few things. I mean, you through these examples, you really depicted how important it is to make sure that you qualify your prospects. I mean, we have something extremely amazing here with this business project. And the reality is, when it comes to Forex trading, this has been going on well longer than any of us have been alive. This is a ballpark that we haven't even been privy to play in up until this point. So, we can have that posture in order to qualify people. But the other thing that I want to share is in that process of you piquing their interest and, going through the form process, obviously the quality of your questions will dictate the altitude of your success. And those questions that you're asking to gain information, and here's the best part of it, realizing that when you're communicating or when you're connecting or talking with people, the reason that you can be so effective and ask those quality questions is because most of the time, when you ask questions, it allows people to talk the most. And people enjoy the conversation when they're the ones that get a chance to talk. So you got to be in a position where you can retain the information that they're sharing so that when you're doing your follow-up, just as you stated, you can keep the conversation brief and streamline it to bring up exactly what you guys conversed about during that initial piquing interest process. If a person said that they had a son, you need to remember they had a son. If they said that they said their son's name, you need to write it down, jot it down, do whatever you can so that, because you win when you mention their son's name versus saying, hey, how's your son? How's little Johnny? And so I want to congratulate everyone for sticking on this line and gaining this information. It's been extremely powerful. I got on this call. I've been in the industry for 15 years, and one thing I've focused on doing is being a student to the game, and it's created multiple millions of dollars from the comfort of our home. But I'm telling you, man, this has been very, very empowering. And so I wanted to go ahead and share that. And so hopefully everyone have taken those notes. I know that you're probably about to get ready to shut it down. If you do this session again, I'll be more than happy to go through those scenarios, whether it's on the prospecting end or whether it's on the prospect end, so that really we can streamline the focus on making sure that people just gain the information, showing them how to do it. If you wanted to do scenarios and how to do it wrong, we can go through that process as well and crack them up. But thank you very much for taking the time to empower people. Thank you for leveraging the entire organization, even people that you don't have a financial gain, but it just really shows how huge your heart is. So with that, I want to say this, and I don't have to say it, stroke your ego, because your bank account takes care of that. But guys, I just want you guys to know that class is something, it's hard to find, but it's easy to identify once you found it. And that's a characteristic that you have, Tracey. So I really, really appreciate that.
Thank you, Jonathan, for all that wonderful edification this evening. That will be such great meat I can chew on when I go to bed and say my meditations and know that what I'm doing is of value to others, especially, my peers too, so I certainly appreciate that as well. And I will say this, many of the people that work with me on a regular basis, we stop when we're done, right? So if people need to jump off, they can, but it's not often that I'm able to be up. I mean, he's really busy right at this moment. But that's why when I do it, I try to do it and get it all out, because I can't always do it every single day, right?
That's awesome.
So we take the time so that people can go through it. It's being recorded, of course, and everyone can go back through it. So so if you guys want to practice a little bit more, I'm more than happy to help. You got Jonathan on that can help, be your prospect as well, things like that. I'm sure Mark wouldn't mind being a participant in that. So guys, use these leaders, okay? Use these leaders inside of the company now. Ask the questions. They know the answers. They might have a different style of how they do it, but generally what they do works too, right? Obviously. So please don't be shy. What can we help you with in reference to your recruiting? Because we want to help you. Like I said, the biggest thing is your new people getting to and free, right? Even the people that don't want to recruit, just to and free keeps the retention high, okay, or higher. And then the people that do want to build, getting them in the money with the check, right? Even if it's $37.50 a week, which is the platinum 150. Having the 150, which then covers the 145 potentially, or almost the 185, it's still them getting a check, right? And most people have never gotten a check from the company that they're in. Okay, that was significant enough to cover the cost of anything. Okay. This is a very, very completely different model that people can win right out of the gate, even as a customer, like to and free, really, so that's what we're looking to do. So make sure you get it for, leaders, you got it, and you can share it with your people. And then those of you that are doing it, more like getting your own business started out of the gate, out of the gate, you got it down.
Sorry, I wanted to, Tracey, this is Mark Sterling. I want to say thank you so much. Very kind of you to, open up your platform. I don't take that lightly. I'm very mindful not to let too many voices enter into my organization. But I will tell you that when you have a servant leader like Tracey, guys, sometimes you can miss the heat because you're too close to the fire and not really appreciate it. So don't take the fact that you have access lightly, Tracey. Honor is the key to access. And I'm very thankful to be on the platform here with you. I have a page and a half full of notes here. Definitely will not stop learning any way that we can serve. Look forward to locking arms with you and growing something massive. Guys, understand a good deal goes two ways. So don't just write the information down, be a master of it, and go out there and do it. Most folks don't have access to a trainer of the caliber of Tracey. So please understand that. I know people that spend thousands of dollars just to get audios, let alone have the interactive session. So thank you again.
My pleasure, Mark. So honored to have you guys on. I'm almost nervous over here, shaking in my boots when you have a Mark Sterling and Jonathan Green and the Cruikshanks on and the Stotts on and like, oh my goodness, they're watching.
Hi, Tracey.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Marlene Stotts. I'm telling you, tonight was awesome. I'm so glad you were obedient to post it in the group. And I see that you're recording. So we would love to have the recording. I think I see about 20 people from my team on the chat. It was a good thing that David ragged us tonight. So you put that. So, everything happens for a reason. So we would love to have the recording, and hey, feel free to invite us again. Thank you.
Yes, Miss Chairwoman, sir. Or ma'am. Yes, Miss Chairwoman.
One thing you said tonight, and it was so good. You said people have to qualify. You need to qualify your prospect before you give them that valuable video of Mr. Immunity. And I have never done that. So thank you for bringing that to life, that I just don't throw a video out loosely. So thank you very much for that.
Absolutely. I mean, that is one of the keys. You guys know it's exclusivity that brings the value, right? It's what people can't have that they want. And so I do everything that I can to get as much information as I can from them, because I want this to be so valuable for them, right? I mean, the video opens up with a Rolls Royce and a Bentley, right? And a beautiful pan of his home, right? Like, this is the finest type of community that you could associate yourself with, right? And I will not just allow any random person to get access to that. Well, A, to our leader, but B, I feel like my group is of high esteem. And if you can't respect and relate to what is being shared with the caliber of how he shares it, then this isn't for you, right? And that's why I'm okay with it. So thank you so much for highlighting that again, because that qualification piece, guys, that exclusivity is key. It's key. Here's another thing. When you're on, I hate it. When I see people on Facebook and they're putting their link right in their post, right? So, hey, we're having a great training tonight. If you want to learn all about the Forex market, click the link and join me now. That is not exclusivity, right? It's not exclusivity. It's anybody and everybody's mama can see this link and join. I don't do that, right? You guys can go through any of my Facebook posts. You don't see that. What you will see, if anything, my call to action is not go to my link. Stop, Josiah, stop. My call to action is, if you'd like to learn more, right, about how we're doing this or how we're helping save people's lives, or we're on a mission, right, to help 1 million people, right, free themselves with the power of the Forex market. If you're looking for a way to, break those chains, right, from that job or from, whatever it is that's going on, inbox me. I'd be happy to share some more information with you on how you can take advantage of what we're doing. You have to paint the picture of, this is up here, okay? And everybody won't know what it is unless I tell you what it is, right? We went to an event. Obviously, people can see that it says iML on the pictures, but that's because of the event. That's what events are for, to help double business, right? The events help promote the business through to the next event. So that's fine if it's that. But, come December, right, you're probably not going to be as active posting pictures from Houston. So if that's the case, don't throw your link out there like, it's loosey-goosey. Exclusivity is what brings about the value. Keep that in mind. If you see anybody doing that, I ignore those people. I just, I can't. And if it's one of my team members, I inbox them. Trust me. Please don't do that again. Stop it right now. Don't ever. Okay. Anybody else? Anything else?
Hey, Tracey.
Yes, sir.
Definitely, always, you always bring value, and just the things that people need to really move forward. I mean, being connected, and knowing you for all these years, and then from our prior company and things of that nature, I realized that, I've learned a lot from you and other mentors who I've met through you. And for a lot of times what I can see is that there was a guy I talked to today, one of the team members today. I was talking to him, and he was talking about how he needs to kind of put his stuff out there on the social media and stuff like that. And what you just talked about, as far as, I used to be the one that put my links out there and, and stuff like that before I kind of started really connecting to Tracey and understanding how to try to market. But I've always seen myself as a student to the game as well. So he told me today, he said, what I noticed about your post and things of that nature is that you're not telling nobody exactly what it is that you're doing, right? And I said, and I thought about that when you just said that. I said, you know what? I've learned that from Tracey. And what I can say is that from the night, what you just shared tonight, something that I think about sometimes, like when I'm communicating with someone, I say, what would Tracey say? What would she say, right? What would she say? So I'm hearing what you would say, and it'd almost be like right what you would say, So that's one thing about having someone like Tracey as a leader and mentor. I feel that I've seen her do some astronomical things in our prior company, and just the care and concern about helping others build is one thing that I just admire so much about you, and how you just like one of the guys said a moment ago, you're not trying to criticize anyone. You're just like, hey, let's get it right. You're like, hey, hold up, wait. So that's what's cool, and it's just a real cool thing that how you actually deliver and actually try to get us plugged into the right things and get us pointed in the right direction. And when you talked about how to engage and get that deeper question, that what you're looking for, right? Sort of like a psychiatrist, you're like, hey, what is that? And some of the stuff I've learned this stuff in the past, from other mentors that we've been plugged in with too. But definitely valuable information that you shared. Keeping the information where it's vital, and not just here's the link, because I've done that, right? I've actually sent the link to someone, even though they're reaching out to me. I'm like, wait, what am I doing? So sometimes I can get off course sometimes and be like, okay, I'm getting off course. So what you shared tonight pretty much just kind of realigned me with the direction I need to be going as far as communicating with people and how to keep my information. This is powerful. This is like gold over here. I'm not going to just give you this information just because you said I want it. I want to know something that I can use to kind of lever when it comes to the time for me basically asking you, hey, are you ready to get started? Or what did you like best about what you saw? And then, if they have any rebuttals, I can use that as a lever and say, okay, I thought you told me that you wanted to do this and this and this, So appreciate it, Trace. Definitely loved it.
You got it, Gary. My pleasure. And one thing I wanted to touch on, if we didn't go much into the follow-up, okay? So I'll share you guys my process for follow-up. First, because I had to get another book of, because my list has grown now. Every time somebody inboxes me on Facebook at this point, don't put that tape on there. Because I make a post and then I say inbox me or whatever, and somebody inboxes me, they go on the list, the handwritten list. They go on the list, right? So the list is now up to 424, right? 424 are on the list. Let's do the numbers here really fast. So 424 are on the list, and I've sponsored 92 people. So 424 or 92 divided by 424 is like 21%. Okay. So that just gives you an idea, right? Doesn't mean that's what your numbers are going to be. Your numbers could be higher. Your numbers could be lower. They could be right there. But roughly with this manual process, and I have an internet marketing ability, right? And you guys can see I'm doing this very organically, right? And the reason I'm doing it organically versus a lot of heavy automation that we used to do in internet marketing is because this is network marketing all over again. This is not an affiliate program. It is where we have to develop people. We actually need a relationship with the people. We actually want people to grow, right, and build an organization or grow and actually be successful with their trades such that they tell other people, or that they're happy enough that they're going to stay and be excited, right? And so because of that, I'm not looking for the one-time sale, right? In other deals, the one-time sale would be worth $1,000 to me, right? So if I could go out and I could run traffic and I could make $5,000 in a day, I would do that, and I didn't have to speak to anybody to do that, okay? Here, it's a different beast. So it's a little bit more of a hands-on process, and so that's why I write everything down, okay? I write all the people down. So now, once I send the video and I confirm that they're going to watch the video, here's the thing. You got to make up in your mind, as I've said over and over, that it's your business, right? It's your business. It's your business. It's your business. You are driving this. My son has a Lamborghini car, right? What kind of car is this? Oh, no, he wants to whisper a Lamborghini. But he has a Lamborghini car, right? And this is his car, right? And I told him, I said, you're going to have a Lamborghini when you get older? He's like, yeah, right? So why am I making that point? It's because you're the driver. You're the driver at all times. So although when I confirmed that they were going to watch the video and I said to them, get back with me when you're done and let me know if it makes sense. Although I said that, I have every intention to contact them back tomorrow regardless. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? I know I said that, but my intention is to contact them within 24 hours regardless. Now, those that actually do contact me back, I know, slam dunk, right? Easy. Ask your 3 or 4 closing questions, they're in the door. It's not even a discussion, hands down. Most people, though, I do have to follow up with them. Okay, if you're sitting on your hands waiting on someone to get back to you, you've given them control of your business. You will not make it that way. I told myself 3 days. Yes. Oh, three days between the time that they watch the video and you getting back to them. Oh my goodness. No, ma'am. No, ma'am, Vanessa. 3 days. You know what happens in 3 days? A person not even interested anymore in 3 days, Vanessa. Okay. So no, ma'am. You confirm you're going to watch the video. Okay, great. We'll talk tomorrow or whatever it is. Tomorrow, I'm inboxing them back. I'm not small talking. I'm not, hey, how's the weather? How's the kids? I'm not doing all that. Now, if it's on the phone, it's a little different because it's the phone, right? Hey, Vanessa, it's Tracey. How's it going? Oh, it's going good. Well, I'm just getting, you're just getting home from work. I know that we said we were going to chat today. So did I catch you at a good time? Right? On the phone, you have to qualify the person. If you don't say, did I catch you at a good time? Or is now a good time? What will happen to you is that you will get into the middle of what you're saying and they're going to say, wait, Gamma, I really want to hear what you're saying. But right now I'm trying to do homework with my kids and I can't listen, right? Can you call me back later? And then you're going to say, okay, right? And then you're not going to get a time. And then now you feel funny, right? So the way that we maintain control is, hey, so Gamma, I know that we were set to talk today at about 7. It's like 7:03. Sorry, I'm a little late, but it's now still a good time. Yes, you get clearance. Now you don't have an objection on time, right? You don't have that. Clear it up in the front, in the beginning, right? But on Facebook or social media or, text messages or whatever, then it's like, hey, so Trisha, did you get a chance to take a look at the video that I sent over to you? Right? And she's going to say yes or no. If she says yes, I'm going to say, great. So what did you like best about what you saw? Don't do that, sorry.
Not a ball.
No, it's not a ball. What did you like best about what you saw? Awesome. You know, that was one of the main reasons why I got started here too. So is this something that you can actually see yourself aligning with? Oh, absolutely. Definitely. I certainly can see myself aligning with this. Awesome. So how soon are you looking to get started? Oh, I'm looking to get started. I can get started tonight. It's $195, right? Yep, sure is. So did you want to use Visa or MasterCard? Right? Like, I'm not getting into all that chit chat, right? Don't. Okay. Now, I'm not saying you got to be nasty, and I'm not saying that you don't, you know, soften it where it's necessary. What I'm saying is that your intent should not be to have a BFF conversation with the person, right? Your goal is to get the enrollment, and then you do that. Okay. Now, in reference to someone who you call or you inbox back, and it's the day that they're supposed to have the presentation watched, and you say, hey, did you get a chance to take a look at the presentation? And then they don't respond, right? You know, on Facebook, it's easy because you can see if they saw that or not, right? You can see that. A lot of times people haven't seen it because they take Messenger off of their phone. They take Messenger off of their phone. They do all type of crazy things, right? And I can tell that they haven't seen it in some cases. But in most cases, people will say, they'll respond back. And they'll say, oh, Trace, you know what? I really didn't get a chance to watch it. Things got really hectic at home. I promise I'm going to sit down. I'm going to watch it tomorrow when I get home from work. All right. Well, that sounds good. I totally understand that. You know, I'm a busy mom as well. So what time tomorrow do you think you'll have it watched? By 8 for sure. Okay, cool. So then I'll just hit you back about 8. That work? Yep, that works. Okay, cool. Have a good night. And then tomorrow at 8. Now, tomorrow at 8, they don't answer, they don't respond to Facebook. Okay, well, then that means the next day I come back, I look, I can see if they've seen it or not. If they've seen it and they haven't responded, they haven't seen the video. That's what that means. If a person has seen your question where you say, did you get a chance to look at the video I sent over to you? And you can tell they've seen that question from you and they don't respond, most times they have not seen the video. So if you want to give it another day and come back, what I like to do is I type their first name with a question mark. Bianca? Right? Now, if Bianca doesn't answer after that, then I've got so many other people that I'm following up with because this is an ongoing thing. Like you're always in zone 1, you're always prospecting, you're always, you know, inviting, that I'll have to come back. And that's why the list matters, right? Because now on Messenger, I can't keep up with who I just spoke to last, right? But I have my own little system on how I mark up my list so I know who I need to go back and follow up with, right? Or how many times I follow up with someone. So my rule of thumb is this. I am going to follow up until you either say no, Tracy, I'm not interested, or you say yes, I'm ready to get started. Now, sit down, Pumpkin.
No, it's some grapes.
Okay, go get the grapes over there. Either they finally say no, or they say yes, and they just need time to get started. If the time frame between them getting back to me, okay, I can't rinse them right now. I'm doing this. You have to wait, okay?
I can't rinse them because it's too hot.
It is too hot. Let mommy do it. I'll get it for you. Here, put the counter, please. Sorry, guys. Sorry, please, go sit down. I'm almost done. I will open up the time frame in which I follow up. So the first couple of days, it's every day, right? Every 24 hours, I would say. Every 24 hours or somewhere in there, right? Every day I will go and, you know, see if they've seen my response or whatever. If they haven't seen my response, I don't keep typing the same thing over. They haven't even seen the first one. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to sound like a lunatic. So I just don't say it again or type it again if they haven't seen it. If they have seen it and they haven't responded and it's been 24 hours, then what I'll do is I'll say, Shahida? Question mark, right? And then Shahida, most times people say, oh, Tracy, I'm so sorry. Yes, I did get a chance to look at the video and, you know, everything looks good. Awesome. So what did you like best about what you saw? it doesn't matter to me what they say to me out the gate. My questions are still the same. My questions are still the same. Okay? Your process is your process all the time, the same way. It's your ship. Okay? So you go through that process, and I continue. I just follow. My follow-up game is very, very strong. I will just continue to follow up, and then I will spread it out. I might take, 2 days, right? Then it might be a week, right? And I might put a little mark on there that, okay, I'll follow up with them in 30 days, right? And another 30 days, and then another 30 days, right? And then either I just get sick of it and don't care, right? Or if 30 days comes, I scroll through the notes, I see, oh, follow up with this person on, 10/12, then I'll hit them back on that day. So I really don't stop following up unless I'm just burned out with them. Like if they're aggravating me. Now, this is my own personal preference, right? If they're aggravating me, what I mean by that is if they haven't seen the video over and over and over again, I'll take it away. All right. If you haven't seen the video and it's the third time that we've set the appointment where you're supposed to have watched the video, then what I will say is, well, listen, George, it appears that maybe this just isn't going to be for you. Okay. When you decide, or if you feel like you want to revisit this, let me know. In the meantime, I wish you much success and, good luck to you. And I'll take it away. I'm done. You have that option. You do know that. Right? You can take it away from people. So I don't, if I feel like the person is dragging on with watching the video and it's, 2 weeks or something ridiculous, I'll take it away. But if they've seen the video and we're just kind of playing phone tag or Facebook tag or whatever back and forth, trying to coordinate and get these closing questions done, or, they've given me the affirmative that, yes, they're ready to get started. They're going to get started on Friday. And then every Friday I got to follow up and it's something else. I still follow up. I still follow up all the way until they either say, you know what, I'm going to get this money and sign up, or they say, you know what, Tracey, I'm just not going to be able to do it at this time. I've had both happen. Right? I've had one guy literally tell me that he is going to have to just be honest with me and come forward and say that he actually was waiting on some money to come from, somewhere else, some other investment or something like that. And it was just taking a long time and, bear with him. Okay. No pressure. Right. So that's kind of how I do my follow-up process. So for those of you that asked about follow-up, I just follow up until it's either a yes or a no, or I get sick of them. I mean, I don't have any other more nicer way to say it than that. But when your limit, when you've hit your own limit. Okay. And so if you feel like you've hit your limit with that particular person, remember the way that they are now is going to be the way that they are when they're in your organization too. So if you can't get them to watch the video for the first 6 weeks, then you sign them up and they won't get on iML Fast Start for 6 weeks either. Right. And then they will cancel and then they'll say they don't know how to get started. Oh, but I knew this before I signed your tail up that you weren't a follow through type of guy or gal. Right. So keep those things in mind. People will show you who they are at the very beginning and be looking for that and want to desire to enroll people that you believe have a desire to do this from either perspective, the trading or the marketing side. It's got to be a reason or else they won't stick and stay. Right? I believe out of all the people that I've personally sponsored, I think I have like an 80% retention when I calculated the other day of personal recruited people. Right. So 80%, well, maybe more like 78% retention. Right. And I've been in a little over 90 days now. So that's a big deal. Right. Why? Because I'm sponsoring them that way. I'm sponsoring the people that have a reason for being here, not just sponsoring random people who I just want to get $35 from. Right. This is long term that I'm looking for. All right. So the way that you come in is the way that people will behave once they're inside your group. And then it's worse. It's worse. All right. All right, guys. So any other questions? Is everybody cool? You clear on, somebody is like, something. I don't know where it is. I'm trying to find where I need to mute the person.
I did want to say that definitely appreciate like all the things that you put out. Like this today for me was gold because I've been in iML since January, and me being on the team that I'm on, like we don't get a lot of this kind of interaction. So having this was like, oh my God, like, and it's little things like this, not even little, it's things like this that instill confidence when you're doing these things, or you kind of have like a checklist, a mental checklist to go through when you get questions from people, or you find yourself in that situation where it really is based off confidence and not even in yourself, but just the process of knowing that you have to control like that conversation. You have to posture up in that conversation. You have to make sure that you keep yourself in the lead at all times. So whenever you're offering this opportunity, you're literally offering it to them. This isn't something where it's a please, please, please. This is a hey, you need to pass the test, or it's we ain't got nothing to talk about. Because I've been getting into this zone in my mind where I can trade. I don't need no help. I'm make my money either way I go. And then like a guy had a conversation with me the other day, and it was just like, you need to be giving more. You're not getting where you want to be in the company because you're not giving enough. And I think part of that block of me not giving is I'm not, like you said, I'm not prospecting right, or I'm not prospecting enough to bring the right people in, because there's a lot of people who need this and I'm just not reaching them yet because of my own little mental block that I got right now, where I'm just resting on my laurels because I can trade and I'm just going to do that. So this was paramount for me because I'm ready to get on Facebook and be like, who want it? who ready to get prospected?
That's right. That's right. And then you post with intention, right? Yep. I don't make posts, usually random posts, right? Deliberately, I'll post pictures of my son and me, right? Why? Because that attracts the single mom group or the mothers, right? That can see that I'm working a business and I'm being a mom at the exact same time, right? By myself, essentially, right? They get that. Then the people that if we post trades up, right? I'm getting the reds, the people that want to see the money, right? Okay, screenshot of that. Great. Wonderful. Then we'll post, a screenshot of this right now, like an image of a Zoom meeting or something. That's for the people that are more yellows. And they're like, you know what? I want to feel like I'm in a group. I don't want to be by myself, right? I want to be a part of something. I want to help, make sure everybody is doing well. I want to serve the group. And those people might not necessarily be your builders, but they will be your adhesive within your group, right? They're going to serve your group so much that they're going to keep everybody together and they're going to be there, right? And so we're in an environment where you can look out for those people with our comp plan, right? They might not be the biggest recruiters, but, they're getting all the events together and they're getting people's tickets and, they're doing this. They're making sure people are at the location and they have an Uber, right? They're doing things there's no job description for that. They do it because they want the community part of it. Right. And then the events part, right? You show the fun at the events, getting on stage, recognition, the fun, the party. I'm really tapping into all of the major personality types with my posts deliberetely, right? No unintentional posts go up, right? You'll never see me really post. Now, sometimes then there's just me, like, where I'm feeling a certain type of way. And I'll say, like, I posted something a while ago and I was like, been through some stuff. Well, it was really SHIT. Been through some stuff. I did everything but fold, right? But what is that? That's perseverance. So I felt that way, but it was still positive, right? And so I'll never post anything negative. I'll never just say something ridiculous and random. I usually don't post controversial things because of the type of industry that we're in. I usually keep my opinions to myself. All the Trump stuff or all the, Kaepernick stuff or all the whatever that's going on in the world, I have my own views and opinions on it, but I try my best not to, boom, make a post where now everybody has their, conflicting statements and their debates on my wall, because now that's taking away from what I'm really trying to bring to the marketplace, right? Which is more unification versus the separating of us just from all those different things. So when you're posting, everybody have deliberate posts, right? And try to tap into the 4 different personality types. Okay. Okay. All right, guys, does that make sense? So we've gone over problem solving. You've got to form people. You've got to form people. You got to dig into those questions. All right. People say they want to make, what is it you're looking to do? Well, I want to make more money. Great. How much money are you looking to make per month? Don't just take, I want to make more money at face value. right? That's not the answer. The answer is, well, how much? Okay, well, I want to make 5. Okay, what would 5 do for you? Right? Or what for? Why do you need to make $5,000 in a month? How will that change your life? Because that's the emotional attachment they will have to watching the video on time. If you do not bridge that synapse in their brain for them, then they will drag it out because life happens and it's not a priority. But if I say, well, what do you need, $10,000 a month for? And they say, well, I need it because, my son actually has, one of my team members, she has a very rare disease, like with her brain. And so she has to wear a neck brace, a lot of different things. And so with her and her son, she has to take a lot of time to get things done that she needs to get done with her son. And so please get down from there before you fall and hurt yourself. So someone like that, she might say, well, I need the extra money so that I can actually, handle the medical care for my son, right? And myself. Okay, great. And so if you were actually able to handle the medical care for you and your son, how would that change things? Oh, it'd change a lot, because then I wouldn't have to depend on the government, or I wouldn't have to feel like we couldn't have the right types of tools or things that we need in this house, right? That's an emotional connection somebody has. And then I say, well, if there were a way for you to actually learn a skill that could show you how to make the $10,000 so that you could actually have the medical equipment that you need in the house for you and your son and not have to depend on the government, all their own words, would you be open to taking a look at it? The answer 100% of the time is going to be yes. And guess what? They are going to look, because all of that attachment now, the curiosity about what this is, they can't sleep at night without knowing at least what it is, right? And then they get on there, and then they see David, in that very classy video, right? It's not garbage, right? It's not garbage. And so they can look at him and his cadence and his voice and the way that he talks and the way that he presents. They either know whether they want to be a part of it or not from that video, in my personal opinion. If they don't know after that video, they're not going to know. They're not going to know, right? So that's why I press them. Did you watch the video? Great. What did you like best about what you saw? Do you see this as something that you can align yourself with? How soon are you looking to get started? Those are the only questions I really ask over and over. Sometimes people will say, well, I do have a couple of questions. Awesome. If then they might ask like one question or two questions. I say, okay, well, it looks like you might have like a whole list of questions, right? That's okay. It's fine. You got a whole list of questions. Well, let me ask you this. Once we get all these questions answered, right? Once we get all these questions answered, and if they're answered satisfactory, right? If you get the answers that you want and they make sense to you, does this seem like something you would be ready to get started with? Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, if my questions get answered, I'm ready to jump on board now. Okay, great. What's your questions? I qualify questions. I qualify everything. You're not going to get me on there and ask me a whole bunch of questions. And then at the end of it, you say something like, okay, well, thank you. Well, let me go think about it. I'm going to qualify you before. I need to know if you're going to think about it before you start those questions. Right? Then I can choose whether I want to take the time to answer them or not. But anything that really poses an objection at the end happened because you left a gaping hole somewhere at the beginning. And as you go through it and you learn it and practice it, I mean, I still make mistakes with stuff. It's like, I'm not perfect with it. And I'm like, oh shoot, I knew I should have. I was lazy and didn't feel like asking it, and it came back to bite me. Right? Same thing. And I already know. So everybody good tonight? Everybody good? Everybody feel better, right? So that means you're going to go out there and you're going to be able to start prospecting. You're going to start forming, and you're going to ask your peak interest question only when you know the answer is going to be yes. Peak interest question. If there were a way for you to do whatever, right? If there were a way where you could learn how to would you be open to learning more about that? Right? Or if you're in the more financial question, on the financial side of things, peak interest question is, well, of all the money over the past year, of all the money that you've had flow through your bank account, how much did you earn on that? How much money did you earn on that? That might be a peak interest question too, right? So my point is, Don't ask the question until you got enough information where you know the answer is going to be yes. Okay. I promise you, you live by that rule, you will have more people saying yes. Your inviting will be down pat. You won't have any issue inviting people because people will say, yes, I want to see it. Okay. The plan, showing the plan is already done. David's doing that. Nothing we got to do with that. So he's showing the plan. That's easy. Now, all you got to do is follow up and ask your closing questions. That's it. And then you get your date or your day, at least, of when the person is going to get started, and you follow up and you make sure that you keep them engaged in between now and that startup period. As a little something that we do on our team that you guys can use and leverage if you want is we have a Facebook chat that is primarily for prospects. And prospects to me means people who I've qualified, they've gone through the presentation, I've asked the closing questions, how soon are you looking to get started? And they say, I'm ready to get started at some day and time, right? If they have not said, they have not been closed and they are going to get started, they don't go in that chat. I'm not just throwing people in the chat just to have a busy chat of a bunch of people that's not going to do anything, right? Only people who have been closed go in the chat, or, you know, with a closed date at least, go in that chat. And what I'll say to them, if they say, well, I won't be able to get started until Friday. Okay, great. So I'll put you down. I'll get back with you on Friday. We'll get you plugged in. And let's do this. In the meantime, between now and Friday, I'm going to actually plug you into our team chat. And it's just a way to help keep you in the loop on the happenings and what we have going on. And then once we get you officially plugged in, you have access to all of our team resources. Is that cool? And every single time the person says, okay, that's fine. So now I've got people who are waiting in the rafters in this chat with all the other people in the chat where we're sharing stuff. And many times they can't even get access to it because we put it in our Facebook group, which is exclusive, right? So we're saying stuff like, oh, goodness, the morning motivation call was amazing. It was awesome. I go, where do I get the number? Oh, we're sorry. You got to be on. You got to be on the team for that. Oh, my goodness. You know, such and such did a training on this or that. It was, you know, we're going to, you know, with Curtis, we're doing a training tonight, guys. Everybody get on. He's going to teach us how to trade. How do I get it? How do I get it? Oh, you got to be a member of the team. As soon as you get started, you can access the video. Right? You keep them in that little purgatory world, but it's active because you don't want to do all that work and then people go cold.
I can't wait for our next training.
People go cold on you, right? Then when you call back in a week, they change their mind, right? I haven't had anybody change their mind, right? I haven't had anybody, out of all the people I've personally spoken, I haven't had anybody change their mind. What I've had is people say, oh, I'm still working on getting the money. But I've not had anybody say, well, you know, I thought about it. I don't really want to do this anymore. Haven't had that. Not one time. Have some type of resource or tool to keep your prospects in, as well as your team members. Your team members should be there too, because your team members are what's driving that interaction, right? A bunch of prospects, they have nothing to say. They're not in. So the prospects plus your team members keeps the fire burning and gets them ready so that when Friday comes, people usually are inboxing me like, hey, Tracey, I'm ready. What's the link? Hey, Tracey, I'm ready to get signed up. What's the link? Today, the guy signed up. Just like, put that down. Put it down. Put it down. You don't need it. Thank you. He just signed up on his own, right? And then inboxed me and simply said, hey, Tracey, I'm all signed up. What's my next step? So that's kind of how that works. It keeps people moving without you having to mother hen them, which is what we all want. Okay. So I think you guys got it now, right? We went through the whole process, follow up, and then how to keep, excuse me. Okay. Pick the grape up, please, and put it in the trash. Don't start that crying. Thank you. The whole process, you put the prospects in there, that keeps them warm. And then when they're ready to kick out, they just kick out. You got to follow up, but they're in there, right? And we have, you guys, Gary knows, we have in Gamma 2, we have very few people that leave that chat, right? That chat is so full, we have to delete people that haven't signed up yet so we can add new people who are ready to get signed up, right? I didn't even know Facebook chats had a limit until this. So they do, just in case. I don't know what the number is, but they do. It's not forever, okay? So guys, with that being said, you have all of the tools, right? If you guys want to do this again next week or something like that, after you've kind of gone through it, and you've practiced and you have, you know, some feedback or you want some clarification, reach out, let me know. I'd be happy to, we can jump on and do it again and kind of keep tweaking as we go, right? And refine the process over and over and over until you're like mastering this whole thing and everybody's just a sponsor monster. Okay, so just keep me posted. I appreciate you guys. All the leaders inside of Financial Revolution, I appreciate you guys as well. All of the chairmen and chairwomen that joined us this evening, thank you so much for your leadership and your support and all that you do. And I even see that David jumped on for a little bit. So I don't know if he's still on, but we're working, sir. You're not going to chew me out anymore. Okay, we are working. And with that being said, guys, I love you. God bless you. And good night. I'll get the recording up and I'll share the link. I'll post it in our leadership chat, guys, that's in our 7-figure mastermind chat. And then I'll share it with the team on the team site. And then some of you other guys, I'm just going to share with you in your Facebook inboxes. Okay. Have a good night, guys. Bye.